Hey guys, I want to shoot a quick video. I wanted to walk you through what one of our clients is doing relative to, utilizing our Alpha Ping Tree system. Now, just so that you understand, we're going to be spending a lot of time here in the group talking about how to generate your own leads, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. In my opinion, there's no one size fits all. There's always going to be specific strategies depending on who you are, in the industry. The size of your organization, whether you're a lone ranger or if you are a built-out sales organization or vertically integrated solar company, there's certainly different strategies that you want to deploy, and it's based on budget, to be honest with you, right? There are no real shortcuts to this, but there are strategies that you can implement to be successful, as successful as possible, dependent on the size of your organization. We're going to be covering a lot of that in the training. What we're looking at here is a feedback loop, for an organization that can actually run, in quite a few states of the country, right? They're a sales organization. They have fulfillment relationships with a lot of different, fulfillment partners, i.e. those that install solar, and they're simply just selling remotely. This organization is actually part of our Alpha Ping Tree program, which we provide one-on-one consulting with organizations that want to utilize and implement a Ping Tree, so that together we build out their network of publishers and their affiliates, and then they are tasked with pushing in traffic, pushing in pings, pushing in leads, and then the system basically accepts those if they cover the area, right, and they're able to sell them. The Alpha Ping Tree, and just about any process that you use relative to generating leads, one of the most important pieces is to really understand your feedback loop. As a sales organization, I don't care if you're one individual or if you're a sales organization that maybe has 15 salespeople, or if you're a vertically integrated solar company, and you got 200 salespeople. If you are purchasing leads, or if you're generating your own leads, whatever the case might be, you have to have a feedback loop in place, right, so that you can understand, as leads are coming in, what is your contact ratios, what are the dispositions, because you should be able to make actionable steps towards what is actually happening based on the feedback loop. In a Ping Tree, as you're working the deals, as your call room is working the deals or whatever, the leads that are coming in, we want to collect as much data as possible. And some organizations that are using call center tools, etc., have the ability to flat out disposition right there inside of that system, and that disposition feeds back into the Ping Tree, into the Ping Post system, and then from there we can analyze the data and understand where the best traffic is coming from, i.e., affiliates, publishers, etc. And so when this happens, you're able to, first off, you're bidding and you're paying a wholesale price or below wholesale price for that lead because you're closest to the actual source of the lead. But then you're able to actually affect the outcome and the quality simply by either bidding up, bidding down, rewarding that traffic, or penalizing that traffic. It allows you elements of control in volume and at scale. So basically, this client is operating not with call center tools, as sophisticated as being able to have real-time dispositions, but in the beginning, they, were utilizing a sheet for tracking. I can tell you that this individual has not paid any more than $6 for any of these leads incoming, because we have bid down and we're basically hitting the floor, right, for volume that's available in outlying areas. So for example, you may or may not get a lead for $6 in Dallas, because Dallas is a very targeted market, but on the outskirts in other areas of Texas, assuming you can fulfill, you absolutely can win leads that cheap and even cheaper. And the system, based on our settings, based on our bid, is going to allow for us to be able to accept those as long as it matches the criteria of the sales organization, right? And so what happens is, the sales organization is going to keep the feedback loop, right? And then we're going to use that feedback loop to make sure that things are going well. Now, I can tell you this dealer, in just a few days since going live inside of our system, has had the benefit of sales, right? I wanted to show you and cheap sales, right? Because ultimately we are bidding the floor on incoming volume from the network that we have put in place inside of the system that we have spun up for them. This is different, guys, than just actually you running your own advertising, but in our training and as we move forward here inside of the group, my goal is to share with you all the different elements and aspects of lead generation, because like I said, there is no one size fits all. It is dependent on you, how much money you have, how built out your sales organization is. There's a lot of dependencies. So anytime I talk to a client, the first thing that I want to do is to, and this is for some of you marketers and agencies, right? So first thing that I want to do is understand where they're at, right? Understand what their abilities are, understand what their budgets are, understand how many sales they're making, understand their goals, because I want to put the right product fit in front of them so that they can be successful. Eventually growing to strategies that are going to be built for scale, but you can't start there, oftentimes. And it's really limitations based on the client that you are possibly speaking with. So with all that being said, just to look at this sheet real quick, and some of the data I've hidden just because, I don't want you calling these individuals because they're all fresh, right? But we can see here, like, date posted 10/10. There was a lot of leads that came in on 10/10. On the 10th is when we started. So just scrolling down, you're going to see the dispositions. There's a lot of blue, which is no answer. Obviously, it's going to take time for you to reach these individuals. That's the name of the game. If you're not built out to do that, then I don't know why you're in this business, because it's always going to be a chase game for the most part, right? No matter how much you have on your back end and your follow-ups and your nurturing, etc., it is always going to be a chase game, unfortunately. So just come to expect it and be built out for it, right? But here they're tracking their number of attempts. I mean, everything that you see in green is actually a good lead. And bear in mind, none of these leads were more than $6. We bid the floor on these, right? But these are all interested individuals. And here you have the landing pages that they actually filled out the form on, right? So we get all this data fed into a sheet like this, and then it is basically uploaded, or API, depending on the type of tools that you have, it can be sent in real time into a system that is going to reward or penalize the source of traffic, therefore bringing you sales and cost of acquisition at predictable rates, and that really is the goal, but it takes some level of sophistication and systemization in order to achieve this, right? Anyway, I digress, but I just wanted to show you, like, for these good leads, right, for the individuals that have, that have clicked on, I wanted to show you, let me just click on one of these and let's look at the landing page that brought this particular individual in. We're going to be talking quite a bit in our training about landing pages, right? And there's a lot of different variations of landing pages. There's nothing sexy about this landing page, right? With that being said, there's a lot that has to be considered relative to the setup of a landing page on the back end, the way data is collected, API, conversion, events, as far as Facebook goes, making sure that all of the information reports back into the ad accounts that are running the ads, because whenever you have conversion events that are being tracked and that feeds back into your advertising, that's a very powerful thing, because the more money you spend, the more dialed in to certain audience groups, the more you're actually going to see results. Individuals that when we run an ad to them, on Facebook, and we're targeting a certain audience group, and they're seeing an ad and they click on it and they move over to the landing page and they actually take the time to go through the long form and fill this out manually. Those are the most interested individuals, and whenever those events are captured, feeds back into the ad account. The more money you spend in a scenario like that, the more conversions that you have in a scenario like that, the stronger your advertising is, right? So for you agencies that are running advertising, right, you may, and we're going to talk about this in the training, we're going to talk about it in the group, there is specific setups that you want to do at scale. The more ad dollars that you spend, whether it's your money or your client's money, you're going to get a benefit from that. If you are an individual organization, right, I mean, I'm all about branding. I'm all about building your own assets. I'm all about every single dollar being spent, actually working towards your benefit in your ad account to make things better for you. I don't necessarily like relationships where you're simply buying leads, right? Unless you are playing a volume game, which is this ping tree, right? If you buy enough volume, the numbers are going to work out if you know what you're doing, right? But if you don't know what you're doing and you're running advertising, or you're simply buying leads from a lead provider, you have zero elements of control there, right? And I favor control. All right, guys, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Really, I just wanted to kind of bring to life the importance of disposition loop. Super important, whether you're an individual generating your own leads, be on top of your game, understand what's going on with your leads, and make moves to affect the change, that's needed to be affected. This representation, this video here, was really more dialed into kind of an environment which is a Pingtree environment. I'm going to be talking a lot about it in the training because I think it's important. I think that it might be a fit for some of you guys. And you can have your own internal media buying team, your own, your own build out as far as driving traffic to your own operations, running your own media buying, generating your own leads, but you can also have other horses in the race in a unique system that's going to allow for you to operate at scale. So we're going to be talking, quite a bit about entry point and beginning all the way through to, the most advanced elements of lead gen, because there is, like I said, no one size fits all. And it's good for you guys to know the options that do exist in lead gen by and large. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Look forward to talking to you. Let me know if you have any questions, comment, etc. And I'll talk with you soon.